G'day everyone, welcome back yet again here for our 7th and final qualifying session of the week to get our starting order for the final round of Season 7 nice and organised. Here with me again is Fine Moves on the visuals and co-commentary.
Howdy gents, how we all doing this evening?
It should be an interesting session here.
Well, 8 people in the chat at the moment.
Yeah, should be a nice interesting session here. We've got Showman, KZ and Stefko, Smurf jumping back in to get his quality done. Con being an absolute maniac and going to try and conquer the Nordschleife in the Audi R8. Looks like Scooter's jumping in for a bit of fun as well.
Oh, nice.
Plenty of potential for some fast times in this lobby for our final lobby of the week.
Alrighty, so
keeps in the chat trying to swap ailments.
Do we have everyone signed in? We got
Scooter says he's just spectating. Could get him in here for some
oh yeah, man. Bring him in the commentary if he's not going to race. I'm just going to check the lobby and see who we're missing. Kick this off shortly. So for the final session, we need Screw Loose, KZ,
yep.
Con, Showman. Are they both in here? Yep. And DJ, Stefko, and Expat. I think we're good.
Yep. And then Smurf from last second.
Yes, and he's ticked in. All right, let's kick it off then. So Scooter's definitely not racing. He's
just said unless I'm allowed to. I'm just telling him to give
yeah,
it a go.
He can race if he wants, man. Ooh.
See if he decides to
tick in and go for it if you want. Oh, he's joined the party. Are you gonna join the party and jump on track, Scooter?
Well, I'd consider it like initially I just wanted to come and watch and see what was going on, to be honest. I mean, but if I'm allowed to take to the track just to have a go, send out with my car.
You are indeed.
Well,
send it around for some bragging rights. See where you can end up in the overalls. There we go.
Oh, I definitely will then.
Alrighty, here we go. Okay, the final qualifying session for Season 7.
Yep. It's 2 weeks of races and then it's done. After it feels like a fairly long season with the few breaks we've had in between a couple of rounds, some for public holidays, some for the game being completely broken, unfortunately, but we've made it here and getting the final qualifying session of Season 7 underway. Kazadro leading the pack, followed by Showman, Stefko not too far behind him, so the 3 workmates currently leading everyone around. We've got Con in that R8, which has had a pretty dodgy track record around here. And
this will be interesting, man. Interesting to see how Con goes.
Smurf having his second go in that Porsche now. Seppo, another leftovers driver, and then we have Scooter in that Supra. The leftovers are well represented here, so they have Stefko, Smurf, and Seppo.
KZ leading the way with his Alpha.
Yeah, one of the few guys that have decided to jump into the Alpha after it was pushed pretty heavily in the pre-season. No one ended up going with it, so Privateer KZ decided he'd pick it up and give it a go, and he's done pretty well with it, to be honest. Flossy's asked is Tooligan in this lobby. No, he he got his qualifying done in the last one. His actual qualifying. It'll be interesting to see what Showman can do with that RX Vision, as well as the last couple of guys that have tried to qualify with it have had a bit of a rough time. Evening DCE, Kingston, Flossie, Apex, all jumping in the chat. Thank you for joining us. To watch everyone weave their way around the first sector, or the first technical section of the launch lap here. Scooter coming up on the back of Screw Loose and Seppo. He might look to get past pretty quickly here, depending on if these guys decide to play ball or not. Seppo and Screw Loose going side by side there for a little bit, trying to sort out their positions. Oh, Screw Loose has run very wide through the first part of that double right-hander as well. So yeah, I'm expecting a couple more sub 8-10 times. Keep mentioning it throughout the sessions out of this lobby. Kingston says he'll be happy to see the back end of the Mazda, so he's not got along with it too well. But yeah, I think Showman's nailed it with the Bumblebee, the very angry Bumblebee livery, as it just sums up the sound of the car fairly well. Yeah, take 2 for Smurf, so some encouragement in the chat for Smurf. So since he has decided to jump in here, I don't think his previous time that he said is counted of that 8:13, I believe it was. So yeah, hopefully he thinks he can beat that by a fair way here and get it done. Like everyone's getting around fairly clean though.
Hey, it's good to see Untouchables in the chat there as well.
Yep. Touchy's team captain of the leftovers making a reappearance for the final round, from what it seems. Which is it's good to see. Oh man. Just keeping an eye on Con through here as I'm trying to get a feel for how well he's handling this R8.
Yeah, especially that corner.
It is quite good in the quali settings without the tire wear on. It has plenty of grip, but it can still snap at any moment. So I'd expect to see a decent qualifying time, but maybe a very rough race. See everyone's starting to spread out and find their space. Coming up to the point of no return if you want to get 3 fast laps in. Could have tried again. No, Kingston Smurf set 1 lap before the previous lobby crashed and decided, and he couldn't get back in, so he decided to jump into this one instead.
And he's got Expat on his tail in this hot lap.
He's Expat right behind him, Scooter not too far behind them, running around. Yeah, probably the most MR cars we've had in a session as well, as we've got the Alpha, we've got a couple of Porsche, we've got the R8. Always read the fine print in your wheel-to-wheel contracts, guys. It looks like the top 4 are getting around here fairly comfortably. And then Smurf bringing up the other half of the field. Screw Loose running on some grass. Pulls it up enough to avoid the wall though. Very dangerous to do in that Nissan. And it looks like he has hit pause actually after that, maybe to regain himself or possibly a distraction making him run wide. The times would carry over to the next session that was like a continuation on. I feel like if he's going to run a full another 30-minute session, his previous time shouldn't carry across. Let's see. KZ in that Alpha, he's looking fairly confident around here. It's quite a nimble little car and it handles the track fairly well. I'm not sure how it goes over the bumps, but looks like it's going through the cambered corners fairly nicely.
Yeah, KZ with that epic win last week at Autopolis.
Yep.
So
that amazing battle with the captain.
Yeah, that was huge.
Got Logan jumping in the chat. Not quite sure who that is, but thank you for joining. Looks like again the top four all still within vision of each other as they come through these corners. And then Smurf leading Expat and Scooter. Scooter right up near the rear bumper of Expat. And Expat pulls aside to let him go. I think if Scooter can get clear of Smurf here, he'd probably be pretty happy with his position on track. Ooh! He's run a little wide, just touching a little bit of grass. That's a dangerous game to play.
So, is he going to create a bit of a gap here and
something to keep an eye on is Stefko in that Porsche is still in 5th gear coming up the hill, and he's weaving to make sure his tyres have some heat after that massive straight. There we go, Logan is Flaka. Okay, cool. We've got KZ coming through to start the first flying lap of the final session. And he's underway.
Here we go, boys. It's on.
Beautiful Ranger cars through that top four as well. Taking those first two corners quite nicely. That Alpha looks like it handles the hairpins really well. Being so small, Stefko getting a bit loose coming through turn 1 as well. Pon looking to make it through nicely. Very calm and late on the power to try and avoid spinning that Audi. Definitely probably the most unique mix of cars we've had throughout the week of Qualy. The only repeat car is the Porsche, actually, which is Stefko and Smurf,
So yeah, Scooter's got the potential here to pull out the quickest time.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if he's put a whole lot of time into practicing, as I don't think he can race in the Premier League. Oh, Screwloose has made a mistake and had to come into the pits and fix some damage, so I believe he's made a mistake coming through the last corner, which is probably the worst place to get damage, as you've just done about 8 minutes of a lap and you have to duck into the pits and get some repairs. Anyway, we'll have a look back up towards the front. Looks like KZ's put a bit of a gap on Showman. That Alpha really showing its strength through here. Very
Love
late
these
on the
corners.
brakes, throws it around to the right.
Love this section of the track. Sector 1.
Beautiful section.
Is it? No, sorry, not Sector 1 of the Nordschleife.
Yeah. Oh, gets a little unsettled on the inside curb there, coming down the hill. Go on the run, getting all the way up to about 230, almost 235. As he turns it in, a slight lift of the throttle to make sure he doesn't run wide through the second apex. I think KZ is going to be on for a really nice time if he can keep this up. A small lift through the left hander, the car becomes very unsettled and can just understeer off of that track. It's very dangerous if you touch a bit of that grass. If you're at full steering lock, away you can go. On the run down the hill now, one of the fastest sections of the track. Getting all the way up to 260, almost 270 kilometers an hour before a dab of the brakes. Down to third, down to second for this late apex, left-hander. Keeping it in second, taking plenty of curb, running all the way out. And he gets a 311 through there.
Man, very clean lines, man. This is looking really good for KZ.
Yeah, it's looking like a really nice lap, and It looks like the Alpha really just loves the tight, twisty sections of the track, and the thinner track doesn't really impact it too much as it's such a small car. Gets that middle apex nicely, gets the power on early and runs it all the way out to the edge of the track. Down into first gear here, one of the slowest corners on the track. One of the hardest to get right as well. It's gone a 357 through that sector. I believe 357 is what I saw Footner get through that sector time when he was on track for,
nice.
I think, an 803. So KC could be on an amazing lap here if he can hold it together. KZ's car looks like the Speed Demons. Can you have his results? I don't think that's how it works. I'm sure he probably had a couple of offers from teams as he was shooting up through the ranks, but I think he just wanted to stick with the Alpha.
I think Scooter's about to make a move here on Smurf, possibly.
Scooter's lifting off.
Tough part of the track to get past, though.
Yeah, it's also
wait
probably
for
one
those
of the better
left-handers.
spots
There we
on
go.
the track.
Yeah, once you pass that section,
Whoa.
here we go. Oh, maybe not.
Scooter backing out of it there. Smurf not given anything. It's been unfortunate there, but Scooter can reset and try again later on in the lap. I'm going to keep an eye on KZ as he's coming up to one of the more technical parts of the track and a very fast part of that. Very easy to make a mistake. Keeps it nice and tight through the right-hander. Clips the apex.
So much fun coming through here at top speed.
Oh, he's ran a little wide through there. Usually you want to clip that inside curve. Very unsettled coming down the hill as well.
No, he's doing well. These are nice lines.
Gets the power on very early. Bit of grass on the inside. Coming up through YouTube corner. Quite a deceiving corner if you haven't driven it a fair few times. 6:14 through the sector timing. I think he's about 2 odd seconds up on Showman, who's following him at the moment. He comes down the hill, gets air off the front of that car, hits the first, the right-hand apex, hits the second, stays flat over the hill as the front end washes wide and he almost goes off the track, brings it back beautifully, clips the inside curb, lets the car float across these left and right sections. Very late on the brakes through this right-hand sweeper, coming up to the mini carousel shortly. And we'll be able to see what kind of sector time he gets coming onto the start of the Dodge Jahoa. Remembering that Apex came through with a 717 under the Audi Sport Bridge at the start of the straight here.
It's looking good.
So there's 717. He's come through at a 718.7, so about a second off of where Apex was, I believe, on his fastest lap coming through that Audi Sport Bridge. Stefko coming through at about a 22, so about 5 seconds slower than KZ as well. Trying to push all the way up that back straight, all the way up that hill at the end of it. Smurf coming through that timing board at a 27, so that's about 10 seconds difference between KZ and Smurf. Looks fairly calm through these final corners, doesn't want to put the car away through here. Going to be a good time. There's 803, 804, 805 flat from KZ. Showman coming through with an 8071. Defco, I believe, is going to join the sub 810 club here with a 9 flat. Scooter's made his way past Smurf here as well. He's run a little deep through the right-hander, but gets on the power nicely. Smurf's going to get a little bit of toe down the start-finish straight as well. So Scooter setting a 10.8, Smurf with a 14.0, Expat gun with a 12.6. Who have we got next? It's going to be Con, who is limping around with some damage, unfortunately, so I don't think we're going to see a great lap from Con here. He's almost tried to go into the Nordschleife pits as well, unfortunately. As he quickly ducks into the pits, he'll have time to get another outlap in. Seppo's ducked back into the pits as well. Screw Loose still in his outlap. So we have KZ currently leading the field with an 8-minute 5.095, which is an absolute cracker. And I think he's got some time left in that lap too, because it looked very good at the start. Showman with an 807.151. And Stefko with an 809.082. Scooter just 8/10 off of joining that sub 810 club as well.
Yeah, I think we'll see Scooter knock a few seconds off on this lap.
KZ already 5.5 tenths down on his best time. Showman's up by 15 thousandths. Stefko's up by half a second coming onto the Nordschleife, so KZ down by half a second, Showman about equal, and Stefko up by half a second. Having a look at Scooter. Scooter's about the same. He's up by almost half a tenth.
Oh,
he's got
he gets a bit
loose.
sideways.
He's just held on to that, though. Beautifully held on to there by Scooter. Oh, Stefko's made a mistake. He's back in the pits. So that improvement that Stefko had is gone.
So he's got
on another outlap.
Alright, he's got one more lap then.
Yep. So we'll have to keep an eye on KZ and Showman here. I believe the next sector gates after this sweeping right-hander. See if KZ has brought any time back. He was half a second down previously. He's now almost 7/10 down, so KZ losing a bit of time through the first part. And Showman up by a quarter of a second, so Showman could be on for an 8.06 or better here if he keeps this up. Man, Smurf is getting a nice tow from Scooter here as well, after that mistake that Scooter made. Scooter looking to get on the power nicely, coming through here. He's down by 1.1 unfortunately, but once he gets to the later half of the track, I believe he's going to make up some time without getting stuck behind Smurf as it was before. I think everyone else is on an outlap. So looking back up with KZ as he comes up to miss, hit, miss. One of the trickier and more deceiving corners of the track here. You want to miss that first apex, clip the second one. Oh, he's completely missed the second one and run very wide there. That's really unfortunate. Showman's clipped that second apex nicely and got the power on. Done that beautifully. KZ now just 3/10 down on his previous time though, so he's brought back almost 4/10. And Showman's up by almost an entire second, 0.9 of a second as he comes through the halfway mark of the track. Gonna jump on with Smurf and see how he goes through the 4-minute marker as he follows Scooter around quite closely. Scooter gets a bit of distance on the exit there. Smurf is up by 3 seconds. So Smurf is on for an 8.11 if he can keep this up. Oh, Seppo's lost it. Oh, that's a big impact. He's still got time to quit back to the pits and reset if he wants to. Don't know if you can queue up a replay of that one in 5th at the moment.
Yep, sure, let's do it. Here we go, on board with Seppo. Coming up the hill with the right hand. He's on the grass, and that's all it took.
Yeah.
No damage.
He's going to have to hustle,
I don't think.
Hustle around to try and... He got some rear damage and had to quit back to the pits, unfortunately. But he's barely got enough time if he hustles around to start another flyer. But
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of
got to have a
contact
nice
there.
outlap here.
Yeah,
He
it's
was on for an
unfortunate.
8.10 before his DC, so there we go. Smurf absolutely has some pace in him. And I think that slipstream of the Supra that Scooter's in has very much helped throughout this lap.
Yeah, these guys, they're not teammates. No, they're not teammates. Smurfs with leftovers.
Oh, Antichrist has decided to jump in. Alright, jumping back up to the front with KZ. Coming through this, I could say it about pretty much every sector, but another tricky sector of the track. Very deceiving corner here as you come up the hill. Get out onto the bricks, use everything available. He's down by 3 seconds actually, so I'm assuming he's had a fairly big moment. Showman up by 2, which puts him
Nice.
about a 10th off of that purple time that KZ set.
Yeah, wow.
So with a bit of luck, Showman could make up some ground and even get some slipstream. Oh, he's clipped the inside curve through this double right-hander and pushed wide. Very, very dangerous to do there, and that's cost him a little bit of time, I think. But Showman will definitely be on for a big improvement if he can hold this together. Still up by almost 2 seconds. Clips the apex nicely through the right-hander, does the same through the left, runs out, uses the extra track that's there. Tuck it in, keeps it in third to keep it nice and steady, avoid the wheel spin through the mini carousel. You just want to avoid the curve on the inside here, and he's got a pretty good run back onto the straight. Just a lift, no touch of the brakes from Showman there. On the power, nice and early, carrying 210 kilometers an hour out of the corner. And under the Audi Sports sign, he is 1.7 up with a 7.19.3, so very good
nice
time
work
from Showman so far. Jump on with Scooter here, who's also coming up to that same timing marker through that sweeping right-hander. Also on the power nice and early, doing about 2.15 on corner exit. As he comes through with a 7.23. And Smurf for the 7.25, 3 seconds still improved, so still on for that 11. Jump up with Showman here as he comes through the final left-hander to finish his lap to see what type of improvement he can get and if he can steal that purple time off of KZ. Not expecting any improvement from KZ as he was 3 seconds down.
Oh,
It's a 5.284, so very close, but not close enough to beat KZ. He's got one more chance to do it. Scooter now coming through the final section with Smurf close in tow. Smurf has lost the slipstream through the final section of corners, but I'm expecting Scooter to go well deep in the sub-810s here. There's 8.5, and he lost a bit of time at the start of that lap. Smurf with an 11.1 as well. The cracking time from Smurf, a bit of slipstream from Scooter, never hurt either. Who's our next one around? Oh, Antichrist jumping out.
Con's coming down the back straight.
Outlap, unfortunately, for Con.
Oh, is it? Yep.
As he had to duck into the pits, so I don't believe he set a time. He will get around to be able to have one chance at a flyer. I think our next car around for a timed lap is going to be Screw Loose, who has about 2 minutes left of his lap. Coming through this very tricky sweeping section, very cautious on the brakes here. Up and over the right-hander, keeps it in third. I'm going to drop to third through here as well and hold a bit of speed. Plenty of pace through here. Coming up through 2 very deceiving corners, as I've said before. Very cautious on the brakes, so I'm assuming he's been caught out here a couple of times over. As Con starts his lap now and the timing rules change. Screwloose managing the turbo power of that Nissan very well here. Trying to avoid all that wheel spin using higher gears and some throttle modulation to make sure the car stays nice and stable for him. It's looking like it might be a bit of a rough lap for Screwloose here though. Maybe not too comfortable with the track as it is a very tough one to get a handle on. Coming through this left-hander, leading us up to the mini carousel. Decides to go above instead of into the mini carousel. Gets a little loose on corner exit too, so that Nissan's still showing it's got some bite in it. I believe Screw Loose will be challenging, I think it was Flaka and Cowboy, who were in the low 9-minute range in their qualifying sessions. I think that'll be about where Screw Loose is going to be, probably a bit better, maybe in the very high 8-minute mark, if he can nail this final sector. GTR gets a very nice run down the straight too, just a couple of kilometres down off the Corvette and the Supra. Nice and cautious down through this left-right section. Doesn't want to run wide and ruin his lap after putting 8.5 minutes work in. Here we go, comes through the final corner, gets the foot planted, the power's down. It's going to come through with an 59.9, so just squeezes under that 9-minute mark. And I believe that beats Cowboy and Flaka, who set just over 9 minutes, I believe a 9:06 and a 9:08. I could be wrong on the second time. We'll jump up with KZ and Showman here as we come through the half lap timing boards. KZ 1.5 down on his best, while Showman's 0.2 purple. But KZ's struggling to recreate what he was able to do in the first lap, while Showman's constantly taking time out of him here. Up it on the scooter in third as he comes through this same timing marker. We'll see what kind of... He's purple through it as well, so...
Ooh, nice.
Scooter could be on for a big improvement. Smurf is up on his time by about half a tenth through that same marker as well. So these guys all very close together. Gonna keep an eye on Showman and KZ at the front here, as they're both currently within about 0.3 of each other's lap times previously, and see what kind of pace they can hold through this sweeping right-hander. Showman stays 1.5 tenths purple through there as well, so absolutely pushing this RX Vision to its limits and showing that it can be done after some of the other guys in that same car have struggled a fair bit through here. Very late drop into the carousel for Showman as well. KZ got straight into that very early, and Showman deciding to drop into it fairly late. Those green GTRs seem to be everywhere. You're absolutely right, Flacco. They are in every session, I swear. Showman looking very nicely through that left-hand section, that left-right. Half a second up on his previous time, but not purple anymore, so... I guess KZ had a really good sector through here. Showman sliding about that RX Vision. Looks very unsteady coming through there. Let's see. And it looks like Seppo has managed to get around and start a flyer as well.
Nice.
With a couple of seconds to spare. So everyone is going to have a chance at least one more flying lap here. KZ 1.3 off his purple lap now. Really struggling through this section, while Showman has absolutely taken chunks of time out of him. Showman a little wider through that second right-hander, but didn't put the inside of the right one, so he carried more speed through the corner nicely. I reckon he's probably gained a tenth or two through that. Almost 0.6 up on his time, so on for a mid-4 here. And at the rate that KZ's going, he might even pick up some slipstream down that back straight.
Yeah, definitely. Very close to slipstream range here.
Yeah, bad exit from KZ through this sweeping right-hander could definitely bring Showman into it.
Oh, I think he's going to be on it. He's going to have some.
Well into it. He is well into it. He's going to make the pass here on the lap as well. He's purple by 0.03 of a second. Goes for the bump draft. KZ having none of it. He says, go on, mate, just take your pass and get going. So Showman, if he can keep this up, is going to be on for an absolute cracker of a time. Just having a peek. He's 1/4 of a second purple. Scooter's also up on his time by 4 seconds, so here we go. The final couple of corners in that RX Vision. Can he get an 8:04 and take the purple time off of KZ after such a great first lap by KZ? Run to the line, 8:02, 8:03 is the 8:04 mark, and 8:04.6 from Showman. Beautifully done.
Nice work.
Now we've got Scooter coming into this final sector. He was 4 seconds up on his previous time, so on track for an 8:04.5 if he can keep it up. Oh, he gets a little unsettled through the left-hander there, but carried nice speed onto the start-finish straight. There's the 3, there's the 4. He's stolen it from Showman. He's got an 8:04.2.
Yeah,
cracking lap from Scooter there. Smurf coming across the line and improves with an 8:10.2. So Smurf definitely making the most of this second quali session here. Next car across the line should be Con as he's coming through the final sweeping right-hander to bring him onto the big Dottinger straight. I know the Audi's a bit of a slug in 6th gear, so you want to keep it in 5th for as long as possible, get way up in the revs. It looks like X-Pac Seppo has binned it on his final chance at a flying lap, unfortunately. So we won't see an improvement from him. We've got Con coming around to set his first flying lap still, though, after getting damage on lap 2 very late in the lap. Coming under the bridge, down the hill, getting all the way up to 270 plus kilometers an hour. 300 if you asked a V8 Supercars commentator. Down into second, plenty of curb on the inside. You want to get on the power nice and early here. Here we go, there goes the 8:10 mark. There's 12, 13, a 14 flat from Con there, so that's not a bad result with only getting that one flying lap in. I believe Stefko is coming down the Dodge-Jehoa now as well. And he's 2.2 up. I believe he set a 9 flat in his first lap, if I remember correctly. So currently on for about an 8.7. Coming through the right-hander. He carries too much speed and takes some grass, gets on the power early. How much can he recover? He's probably lost about half a second there at a guess. There's the 8.05, 8.06. 8.07.4 he still manages, so he lost about 8 tenths through that final corner section there, which is quite unfortunate. And I think the last car on a flyer is Screw Loose, who is 7 minutes through his lap, coming up to a very high speed section. He's picked up a little bit of damage too, unfortunately. He's got front aero and front left damage, front left suspension damage. But could still be on for an improvement here. But yeah, wow, Scooter with an 8.04, Showman with an 8.04, KZ with a 5 flat, Stefko getting a 7.4, Smurf with a 10.2, Seppo, I believe, got a 12 of some sort. I don't have his time up on the screen at the moment. Con with a 14 flat. And we'll see what Screw Loose can manage. Oh, he's had a rough time through the mini carousel again. It's a very tricky thing to do. Sometimes you can decide to go around it. If you're not comfortable with the car on exit, it can kick up the car. And especially with the amount of power this Nissan has, it can... looks like his brake was coming on a little bit there. But he's currently 6.2 up on his previous lap time, even with that front damage. So it could cement himself a bit further ahead of those guys I mentioned previously, being NZL, Cowboy and Flacco. Dennison's struggling with that front aero damage to get up to top speed. Coming under this bridge, he's still 5.3 up, so he's lost a bit of time on that straight due to the front aero damage. carrying more speed through this left-right section than he did the first time around, though. Going well across to the left to open up the corner. Going to get on that power. Early shift up the third to avoid the wheel spin. The run down to the line, he's going to get an 8:53.993, so that's a good improvement there out of Screw Loose. Unfortunate for Seppo, he couldn't make it around to finish his final flying lap, but wow, we've got a couple more guys diving into that sub 8:10 barrier, which is really, really fast times. It's incredible. We've actually got Scooter here with us. How'd you feel on that 8:04 lap there, Scooter?
Actually, I'm pretty impressed with that. I mean, before this session, I only had one flying lap as practice, which I think I set in 8:09, I believe. So, obviously, there's a bit of diciness with Smurf there in the first lap, and I knew that as much as I want to get past him, that because he's actually in the race in the round and I'm not, that I shouldn't impede him or disrupt his qualifying, so I thought I'll ease off and get past him on the straight. Didn't want to cause him any further trouble when he's qualifying for the race, and I'm just here just to give my car one final send-off for the season.
Yep. And I think you did a wonderful send-off for the car there. We've got Showman showing all the guys in the RX Vision that it's possible to get an absolute monster of a time. You just have to be an alien. With that 8:04.6, very consistent laps out of Showman actually. So we got an 8:07.1, a 5.2, and then a 4.6. So improved throughout his flying laps. KZ got that 8:05 flat, which was a
There's probably going to be at least 20 members in the sub 8:10.
I think we're going to be there or thereabouts with it, which is exactly what we had in Season 5 as well.
Oh, was it?
We had 20 people, Rexy being number 20, just sneaking in with that 995. But I think with the previous times, we had about 17, and here we've got another 4, so we might get 20 or 21 guys breaking that 8:10 mark, which really is the kind of the elite of times around this absolute grueling track. Anyone with a sub 8:05 is an absolute alien as well. It's a monster feat.
You say that. Wonder what mine probably could take in another second or two if I'd been sober.
Well, Pure Axel was saying he had a fair bit of time left in that 8:01.8 as well, so that's a scary thought. But yeah, that is our final qualifying session for the round, our final qualifying session for the season completed there. Just 2 Sundays of racing to go, as we'll see what kind of chaos ensues, hopefully, into turn 1 here. Plenty of wheel spins, Stefko's drifting a Porsche. RX Vision out to an early lead. Stefko with the beautiful handbrake turn, Smurf sending it in there. KZ sending Smurf well wide out of turn 2. Showman's in the wall. Screw Loose is doing burnouts. Stefko's making sandcastles with Con. So Showman's decided to go for it in reverse. What a way to send off qualifying for Wheel to Wheel Season 7. Make sure to join us tomorrow night for the Division 4 and E-League streams, and next week for Premier League Division 2 and 3 as we finish off Season 7. A big thank you again to our sponsors, Next Level Racing, Pagnian Imports, Races.World, and Future Youth Clothing. And a big thank you to Fine Moves for doing visuals.
No worries. Alrighty, guys, we'll see you all. What day is it? Saturday. Yeah, tomorrow night for round 12. Alright. Later, boys.
See you later.